Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for spending time as we continue worship. My name is Cantor, and this is the Torah teaser. You can see my background is a little different today, but I'm not just floating around the water for no reason. There is a method to my madness, and it will be explained here shortly. First, though, let's join together in the first two formal blessings that we have been traditionally praying now for the last couple weeks. We'll start with the Baruch Hu, and if you're ready, please join me. Bless the Lord, the Blessed One. Blessed is the Lord, the Blessed One, for all eternity. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach, Leolam Vaed. And we continue with the blessing of Messiah, where we thank God for giving us the way of salvation through Yeshua's atoning and very precious sacrifice. Please join me. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has given us the way of salvation through Messiah Yeshua. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu et derech haYeshua, B'Mashiach Yeshua. Amen. Well, thank you for saying those prayers along with me. So, today the verses I picked out of the readings were Numbers 1, verse 3, in the Haftorah, 1 Samuel 20, verse 34, and in the Brit Hadashah, Romans 9, 1 through 3. So, why am I here in the water? I was doing a little bit of preventative maintenance. Let me grab this. I was taking a look at these. Doesn't look like much, does it? That's a zinc. You attach them to the boat as sacrificial anodes. They sacrifice themselves, or they are sacrificed, so that the boat itself can keep floating, basically. It keeps the metal parts from corroding away because it sacrifices itself before the metal would start to rust or corrode. That means that the crudgeons, the things that hold the rudder on, can stay healthy, and that allows you to keep steering. Otherwise, you lose steering line. And then they also go onto the shaft and other parts, but giving you propulsion. If not for those zincs, those would rust away. And given enough time, actually, this boat would probably sink. So that small little piece there, that may look like it's not worth much, next to this 7-ton boat, it's actually critically important. That sacrifice of that one small unit saves the whole. So now with the verses. Today's verses that I picked out are about sacrifice. First, the Torah, about people who are signing up for service. People getting ready to or being willing to sacrifice themselves for the good of the community. The Haftorah now moves it a little bit more personally. We have Jonathan, Saul's son, sacrificing the relationship with his father to do the right thing and to protect David. And then we have the Brit Hadashah. This is Paul, and it's a really sad moment. I hope you have a chance to go ahead and read all of 9. It's not very long, but he cries out in anguish. He sees his people, Israel, and so many who don't recognize Yeshua for the Messiah. And here they are, the people who brought the law, the Word of God forward. Yeshua himself came from this line. And yet they've missed the goal. They've missed the fact that Yeshua is the Messiah. Sacrifice. None of these things, the sacrifices that I just told you about in the verses I picked, or the zinc I used as an example, none of those things are less important than the whole. As a matter of fact, through their sacrifice, maybe they become most important. So when you sacrifice, serve other people, consider this. you are not lowering yourself. The sacrificer does not lower him or herself beneath what they are sacrificing for. That wouldn't honor you, and it wouldn't honor the person that you are sacrificing for, or the group. Instead, what you are doing is you are raising up people, raising up a people above yourself, looking at them as holding them as more important than yourself. That's an honorable thing to do, and it honors what you sacrificed for. That's maybe apropos today because we're coming up on Memorial Day, where we honor those people who are willing to make that sacrifice, and along with their families make that sacrifice to keep our country safe. That's the Torah teaser. I hope you get into the verses. They're really interesting. And I'll end as I always do, and that is with a truism. You are very important to God. You are very important to the body of Yeshua. And you are very important to your spiritual family here at Beth Israel. And before I sign off, the verses for next week. I almost forgot. Next week it's Numbers 28, verse 26, Habakkuk 3, verse 3, and Acts 2, verse 11. As always, God bless.